I had this tag that I grabbed from the Dollar Tree. I turned it over and started by putting on 1 coat of Wise Owl white primer, as this is a cardboard, and if you don't prime it, it will bleed through, especially if you're using a light color paint. I did do a dusting on the back side as well. And I found these fish at Dollar Tree. They're kind of bendable, they're wooden, and they're really cute. And I grabbed, I want to say about 6 of them. I'm going to do 2 separate projects with them. And I'm starting with the first one, and I'm painting this one with Iron Mountain, Higgins Lake, and tourmaline. And I'm just using an art brush that I grabbed from Dollar General. Once I painted the front and the back, I did a dusting of white just on the head and just on the tail. It was a very light dusting. You can still see the tourmaline underneath and the other colors that I used. Now I'm going back to the tag as I want to cover the back. But I started by painting it with Wise Owl Antique Villa, which is more of an off-white. And I found this poster board at Dollar Tree. The front of it's cardboard, the back of it's white. And I'm tracing out a pattern of the tag, and I'm taking my box cutter and cutting out my pattern. I lined it up with my tag on the back and just hot glued it together. So like this way, if it turns around, it's a finished back. I found this Hello Goodbye stencil at Michael's for $3.55 in their clearance section. And using Iron Mountain and a dabber. Now the key with stenciling is you need very light paint. It looks like I just did it fast, but I do take my time doing that, and I kind of build the paint up because too much paint is what causes the bleed through. And then I took an art brush and connected all the letters. Now I'm taking some twine and wrapping it around each tail and then gluing the fish to the tag. Almost looked like it's hanging from, like it was caught and hanging from fishing rope. And then I just staggered them for balance. And then I put the rope to the tag back on. And now you have this cute lakeside, poolside, or beachside home decor. Now this is my second project with the fish. I found this tag at Dollar General, and I painted all the fish in the same fashion. I just had 2 extra, and I took this jute that has a wire inside it and put a bead and wrapped it around the tail. And I'm going to be staggering these. So the first one's going to be a little shorter. The second one's going to be a longer, shorter, longer, shorter. That type of pattern. And I just make sure I have a bead between the fish and the board. And this jute with the wire in it, I also got at Dollar Tree. And a little tip when you're trying to put this jute with the wire through a bead, you want to put some tape at the tip, and then it'll go right through the hole. Otherwise, it kind of unravels, if you know what I'm talking about. So once I figured out how I wanted to put my fish, I turned the Dollar General board over and all the fish over. Made a plan on how I wanted them to hang. And then I took it's actually a paint stir with a ruler on it from Home Depot. You can get them in a package. They're pretty inexpensive. And I laid it across all the jute with hot glue. And then I just clipped off all the excess wire jute. Now, if I had the right stencils, I would have put something like fish, but I just went with what I had in my basement. You could have done the hello. Now, this particular board has ridges in it. So I did something a little different because I knew I'd get bleed through because the board is textured. So I started by actually stenciling with white paint, which is the same background as the board. And this way you're kind of building the paint up before you actually put the color that you want. And I'm just using a foam brush and using the same dabbing motion as a dabber. I waited till that dried, and then I added my black with a dabber. And this really did help from bleed through with the textured board. And this says eat. And again, this would be really cute at a lake for a fisherman. And then I just took a little black and dry brushed on each of the fish, very light dusting, just to pull everything together. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see other tutorials, go check us out on YouTube. You can also check out our videos on chalkitupfancy.com. For any paint products or brushes, chalkitupfancy.com. Thank you so much.